if you go above the edge of this bracket, they'll be messing them out. Sinukweli. Then we utilize a unique blend of cutting-edge technology and effective pedagogical practices. We have a handbook that we normally use. That handbook showcases how any training can be done, because we need a blueprint for all the trainings to be done. For example, the way you will handle 5 to 8-year-olds is totally different from the way you will handle teenagers. Their concentration span, kwa wale wenye wamefanya mambo ya psychology, you will understand concentration span ya watoto kama hawa is between 8 to 12 minutes. So, kama ni 8 to 12 minutes, then what are some of the activities you will do for these learners to get whatever you want to teach them within a very small concentration span? Then, we prioritize hands-on learning and project-based activities to solidify knowledge retention. Kwetu, 10% theory, 90% what? Project work. And that is why we have carried with us here some materials which we shall showcase how we utilize these ones in project-based, or rather, we use two methodologies when it comes to handling of children. We use what we call project-based learning and inquiry-based learning. These are two highly effective learning methodologies and principles which we use to handle children. Now, very fast, curriculum development process. I will really not go deeper into this, but this is what we do. So, needs assessment. For example, we have sat with Mewa for quite a while, and therefore, during that period of sitting with them, we were in a position to understand their needs. And in understanding their needs, because yes, we may be treated as experts, but at the end of the day, we cannot make things and cast them on stone without understanding your needs. So we have sat with this wonderful team from Mewa, and in our discussions, we are able to pick what really are your needs. And therefore, even whatever we shall be doing with the teachers has been well curated with the needs of Mewa, put into a lot of consideration. So that is the first process. Process number 2 is curriculum design. So our team drafts a comprehensive curriculum framework aligned with national standards and best practices. At Tech Kids Africa, we ensure that we continuously learn. And we continuously learn, of course, with the people we work with. The 4 to 5 times we have met with the Mewa team, we have been in a position to comprehend some key learning lessons. And those key learning lessons are helping us to come up with the best when it comes to the curriculum we shall be using here with the teachers we shall be training. The other aspect is development of learning materials. So after the curriculum design, that goes hand in hand with the national standards and best practices, we again move ahead to develop learning materials that are in line with this. Then again, we move to implementation support. So we provide training for educators. This is the stage now. So we shall provide training for educators and ongoing support throughout the implementation process. And then, of course, evaluation and refinement. Now, don't be misled by this, that it is coming towards the end, but it even begins at the, because it is a continuous process. Evaluation for us is quite from point A all the way to point Z. Evaluation and assessment to us is done in 3 ways. Assessment as learning, assessment for learning, and in learning. 3 things. So evaluation iko kila mahali, and even monitoring iko kila mahali. So allow me now to go to the business of the day. So unless there is a question from any of you on what Tech Kids is all about, I'll be there to respond. Kuna mtu ako na swali, tafadhali, before I move forward. Any question on Tech Kids Africa?
When did you start this organization?
Wonderful question. So we began this in 2006, and of course it was registered in 2008. Yeah. Good question. Now, to check whether mnanifuatilia, kindly raise up your hand like this. Raise up your hand. So I want you to place your finger on your chin. Place your finger on your chin. Place your finger on your chin. Now turn to your neighbor. Turn to your neighbor and tell them that is not your chin. So kwa wale wenye mlikuwa mnaniangalia na hamsikizi ama mlikuwa mnanisikiza na muangalii, of course that tells you that you cannot learn with your ears only without using your eyes. Or rather you cannot learn using your eyes without your ears. Wengi mlifata mwalimu vile amefanya. Wengi mmefata vile mwalimu amefanya, sivyo? Okay, thank you so much. So allow me to go to this. So implementation steps for what we shall do. They can give him some few minutes to set up. Okay, Sante. So, Tech Kids Africa will conduct a formal presentation of the training program to the Mewa management and key stakeholders. That's what we are doing. The objective is to introduce the program's objectives, structure, expected outcomes, and of course ensuring alignment with the Mewa education goals. Then, the next step, that is the immediate one, is of course we shall carry out a baseline survey. So we shall carry out a baseline survey. Okay, so we shall carry out a baseline survey among the participating teachers. And what is the objective? So the objective is to assess the current level of digital literacy, pedagogical understanding, and readiness for technology integration in teaching. So the outcome, what we are envisioning to have, is to establish a benchmark for measuring progress and program impact. Remember, the results of this will be quite impressive for both teams. You will be using this information, or rather the key learnings and the successes, as a milestone, or rather as a springboard to even to rally support for more programs like this from your funders. We also, on the other end, will be using this to showcase even to other individuals how collaboration comes into place. How do people get results when they have what we call a cutting-edge collaboration partnership? Then we shall commence the training for the trainers. So we are terming to them as TOTs. The training of trainers phase will officially begin, targeting selected teachers you have already. There are 20 identified by Mewa. Focus areas: robotics, microcontrollers, artificial intelligence, and cultural relevant pedagogy. Note, continuous monitoring and evaluation will be integrated throughout the training period to track progress and learning outcomes. So we'll be having a lot of spot checks onto what is going to happen, or rather what will be happening, so that at the end of the day, we'll have a documentation of what is working and what is not working. Because everything is not cast on stone, as we normally say, and it may not be linear as we think. Sahi inaweza kuwa to curate what we shall do, but it may not work as the way we think. And that's why I bring to you a term probably you have heard out there. We call it adaptive management. That as we keep on implementing whatever we are doing, the key learnings will assist us to be in a position to adjust some of the things we see are not working well. For those which are working well, we shall continue enhancing. That is what we call the aspect of what? Adaptive management. Then we shall go to something we call post-training assessment. So we shall do the post-training assessment. Upon completion of the TOT training, participants will undergo an assessment, of course, to evaluate their knowledge acquisition, practical skills, and ability to apply learned methodologies in classroom settings. Now, our assessment will be targeting 3 levels. Maybe you can write it down. We'll be targeting 3 levels. The first one is knowledge acquisition. We shall be assessing that throughout. And then the second one is attitude. Somebody can have an increase in knowledge, but of course, nothing has happened in their attitude. Sinukweli? And therefore, it will affect everything. So we shall also be assessing the attitude. And lastly, we shall be looking at the practicals, or rather the activity. Let me explain. For example, for the teacher, one of the teachers out of the 20 probably will be coming here. In their mind, the attitude is artificial intelligence is killing creativity. Artificial intelligence ni mbaya. Technology ni mbaya kwa watoto. That is the attitude. So akifika hapa, during that particular training, they will be taken through online safety and cyber security and the digital use, or rather safety use of artificial intelligence and the merits of artificial intelligence. So this teacher, with the formed opinion that artificial intelligence and technology ni mbaya, will have now a shift in attitude, and therefore the aha moment comes in. For those who did physics, kuna jamaa anaitwa Eureka, sivyo? So it brings what we call the Eureka moment. So this person will eventually say, oh, wait a minute. So kumbe technology ni nzuri kwa watoto. I have to put balances and checks for it to be good. So nikiachia mtoto tu hivyo ndo inaleta ubaya. So we shall have now a shift in attitude, and eventually this teacher goes ahead and puts balances and checks to the children and a handle so that they'll be in a position to use technology safely. So you can see there is an increment in knowledge, there is a shift in attitude, and then also there is a change in what? In the practice, because ameweza kusupport watoto kutumia technology in a better way. Tuko pamoja paka hapo? Then report writing and documentation. Tech Kids Africa will jointly prepare a report with you, summarizing the training process, monitoring and evaluation data, assessment results, participant feedback, and key recommendations. Deliverable is comprehensive training report shared with Mewa, Management and Education Committee. And if possible, we may have a dissemination forum like this, where we can showcase and disseminate that report so that we can look at it critically and even use it for several purposes. Then lastly, of course, is a review meeting with the Education Committee. So we shall have a joint meeting with Tech Kids Africa and Mewa Education Committee. Will be held to review training outcomes, to discuss findings from the report, and agree on the next steps. The objective here is to plan for continued implementation, mentorship, and scaling of the teacher capacity initiatives. Allow me to pause there so that I may check for understanding. Kama tumeelewa ama nimewa confuse zaidi. Yes, please.
What will be the duration of the course?
Thank you. We are coming to that. We are coming now to that. It's a good question. So, this is now where the rubber meets the road. The course outline. What shall we be training the teachers on? So, the Trainer of Trainers program is a 3-day professional development opportunity designed to equip teachers with experiential skills in robotics, microcontrollers, artificial intelligence. The training will integrate technological proficiency, with robust teaching practices grounded in CRP, cultural relevant pedagogy, to enable teachers to make STEM and AI education meaningful and accessible to their classrooms. I'm really mentioning the word CRP, cultural relevant pedagogy, because at the end, oh, sorry. Okay, thank you. So I'm saying I'm really mentioning this word because we shall have quite some time to look at this deeply and see why it matters, rather than making assumptions as we move forward. So the learners will get a chance to work on hands-on activities, collaborative projects, and reflective discussions that promote innovation, diversity, and creativity in technology-enhanced teaching. So this is a cascade model. We are training the TOTs, and then the TOTs will now go ahead and support the learners. But again, we are also coming in to support that particular process, because if we don't support that process, at the end of the day, pia haitawaka vizuri. So we'll be providing that support. Why pedagogies matter? So pedagogy is the practice, for those who are not teachers. So pedagogy is the practice and method of teaching. Pedagogy in technology and STEM instruction ensures that learners don't just learn, but actively construct knowledge to real experiences. Gone are the days where teachers are referred to as teachers. Nowadays they are referred to as what? Wanaitwa? Facilitators. Because you facilitate learning. In 844, mwalimu alikuwa ndio the fountain of knowledge. In fact, mwalimu kimpelekea swali umekosa, anakuambia mimi nimesema. Nowadays, it is not like so. Ni kama si so. A teacher and a learner are supposed to have an constructive argument until they come to what? To equilibrium. Where both parties are contributing to what? To the learning process. So pedagogy focuses on how students prefer to learn. Look at that term. How students prefer to learn. Not how the facilitators want the learner to learn. Unakumbuka how you are taught mathematics. Some of us tulichukia from the word go, because the teacher wanted to teach how they wanted us to understand them, how they wanted them sisi tuelewe, but sivyo sisi tulivotaka kuelewa. Sino kweli?
At that time, it was called aim. What the teacher is aiming to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Even nowadays.
Now, it has changed to objective.
Exactly.
What the teacher is expecting to
sure.
Teaching is no longer there.
Yeah.
It's now learning.
Exactly. And in fact, even in CBE, it has moved now from objective to outcome. Tunaangalia what the learner is able to do. So you can see that evolution inaenda vizuri. So collaborating and resolving over plain memorization. Effective pedagogical practices will empower learners to do the following: engage meaningfully with content, connect abstract technology concepts to local contexts. Hawa trainers wetu wakati watakuwa wanafunza, of course there is tech jargon. Kwa mfano APIs, Arduino, you see these are tech jargon. And therefore, ukiassume kwamba wakati unafunza wataelewa, it may be very difficult for them to comprehend. In fact, some of them may even throw their arms in the air. Waseme mean sitaki tena. And that's why you need to break it down for them to understand even in a better way. Develop critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration skills. Be confident in applying knowledge beyond the classroom. So, CRP, as I conclude, cultural relevant pedagogy values students' cultural identities, languages, and ways of living as strengths in learning. Allow me to give this example. Mimi ni mwalimu wa biology. I remember I used to teach here in Mombasa. At some point, kuna mahali tulikuwa tunafunza pathology, parasites. And in parasites, there is the pork tapeworm. Sawa, eh? So majority of the learners I was handling wa Muslim. But ukiangalia kwa kitabu inakuambia nini? Ukuwe na nini? Na pork as a requirement or specimen yenye utatumia kwa lab. So what did I do as a teacher? Of course I knew if I came with that to class, much as how the guidebook is telling me to do that, but since I was cognizant of the what? Of the culture and whatever was on the ground, I didn't do that. I only used a video to show them. So when I used a video, at least I was able to be what? To be a bit mindful of whatever was happening. Then at the end of the day, of course, nikawaambia in your own extended learning activities, you may go now and research even more and see why, because parasite lazima ikuwe na host, si ni kweli? And the host here is what? Is a pig. There is no other host. So it is to make them understand why we must learn using a pig. But at the end of the day, it's not to force them to use that. So that is why cultural relevant pedagogy is important. At the end of the day, there are some examples we may be using here. But you as a teacher mwenye umefunzwa, it is not a must you use those examples. For example, before Matiang'i came, school buses, ukileta school bus yenye koya yellow, mwanafunzi hataelewa. Ukimletea picha ya school bus yenye koya yellow, hataelewa. Wakati unamwambia this is a school bus, they may not comprehend because it is not within their locality. But for now, since all our school buses are yellow, then ukimletea mtoto hata picha ya basi ya yellow ya UK, the learner will be able to comprehend. And therefore, it enhances their understanding even more. Tuko pamoja paka hapo? Yes, please.
What is the theory behind yellow in buses?
That's a good question. Sasa in physics and in biology, there are components in our eyes. Tunazita rods and cones. Maybe we'll go and study even deeper. So the rods and cones zinatusaidia kuperceive what we see. Now color yellow katika macho yetu, because our eyes are receptors. When we see yellow color, these are primary colors. And when we see them, they elicit emotions within us. We are able to see them even from far. That's why even policemen wanavaa reflectors za hiyo rangi. Sivyo? Hawavai za red, bali wanavaa za hiyo rangi. Look at the sirens. Sirens ziko na color gani? It is red and blue. And by the way, do you know, ngoja niwaulize, wakati siren inapiga, hiyo ya ambulance ama ya gari ya polisi, ikiwa ina flash hivi, ni color gani unaona vizuri mchana? Ni red ama ni blue? Ama ni zote unaona the same? That's an assignment I'll give you. But I can assure you, color yenye unaona vizuri zaidi mchana ni color gani? It's the blue color. Ndio unaona vizuri. It is well perceived by the eyes. And therefore, it makes you to be in a point of what? Of attentiveness. And therefore, the color yellow, the science behind is it elicits emotions within us and it makes us alert. And it can be seen even from far. So it is for clarity, it is for the emotional bit, but of course ni kuipatia identity even from far.
That is scientific.
Yes.
But artistic, it's contrary to that.
Exactly. Because yellow si color nzuri. Thank you. So nikimaliza, the reasons to this is to utilize local and community contexts to make STEM accessible, embed familiar examples and cultural stories into teaching, and lastly, to foster inclusivity and equity in learning technology. Kwa mfano, hawa walimu ukiangalia vitabu probably venye wanatumia, do you know we may be advancing some prejudices without knowing? For example, ukiangalia vitabu vingi vina depict the man as the engineer, yeye ndo anachukua STEM related careers, na mwanamke anachukua hospitality related careers. Si kweli? Ukiangalia most textbooks zinaonesha mwanamume akiwa kama yeye ndo amevaa nini? Amevaa overall. Manual jobs zinaonyeshwa ni za wanaume and the softer ones ni za wanawake. But things are changing and that's why that cultural relevant pedagogy is very key. Allow me to stop there. Now, very fast, this is what you will be taught. The teachers will be taken through. So the day 1 is introduction to robotics and tangible coding. And those are the intended learning outcomes. Then day 2, they'll be taken through microcontrollers, basic electronics, and pedagogical principles. And those are the intended outcomes. And of course, the key activities and content. Then day 3 is artificial intelligence and teaching practice. Now, I want you to take note of this. Hatutoki hapa if you are not satisfied that these teachers are able to transfer knowledge to those learners. So teaching practice here is a basic component. Tumewafunza for the 2 days and the 3rd day half probably. Are you able to demonstrate here? Because what they will do here is exactly what they'll do in class. Yes, so that is it, and I now want to welcome my colleague to take over from there. Yes, please.
Will you share the document with us?
Yes, it will be shared. Yes. Kuna swali before nikae? Asante. Thank you so much. Karibu.
Mbona kama mtuzi?
Well, I will not introduce myself again. Maybe I will just mention that one of my other roles is to develop curriculums. Yeah, as I was saying, one of my other roles is to develop or design curriculums. What are we going to be giving to the teachers? What is going to be consumed? How is it going to be delivered? So I believe we are seeing that whatever we are proposing is not just training you how to come up with this, but is training you as a TOT. When we leave this door, you will be expected to go and train other learners. So there are a lot of things that you're supposed to do as a trainer now. And remember, you are a facilitator. You are not a teacher, okay? You are a facilitator. So there are very many things that we have here, the CRP, the pedagogy and all that, that you are supposed to use and make very good use of, as we'll be transferring knowledge to the learners. So roughly, Mr. Ebron has mentioned that following our meeting, this is what we were able to come up with. But of course, one thing that I want to mention is that even up to now, if you have any feedback, you'll be able to give us, so that we are able to know what we can maybe mend, what we can edit. Now, this program is supposed to take 3 days because we are training you. But when you're going to train the learners, it may not take that 3 days. It may take even 2 months, because the age group that we are targeting, that Mewa is targeting, 5 to 8, okay? 5 to 8 learners, when you're going to train them, you cannot put them in that room for a whole day or for a half day. The maximum that maybe you need to engage them is probably 1 hour. Ikienda sana ni 2 hours. With those 2 hours, you are supposed to know how are you also incorporating plays in between, okay? You have taught them maybe for 30 minutes. They need to take a break of, let's say, 20 minutes. Then you get back to that. Now, I will be doing 2 things at a time. As I'll be talking about the program, I'll also be having this here, and I'll also have this. Let me say this. Okay? So now, these are breadboard, these are Arduino, and of course, these are jumper wires. So, we have talked about microcontroller, it's this. Robotics ni hizi zote, okay? The only difference is one. When the learners, when you're having kids, you're having 5 kids of ages 5 to 8, they are very young, okay? And in pedagogy, one of the things that we are going to learn is that their training or learning is supposed to be hands-on. So when it's hands-on, even the breaks, the games that they're supposed to play, they're supposed to be hands-on. And that is why we have this. So basically, you'll be having very many pieces that they need to put together so that they can have something working. But then, even as they do this, it starts from putting together this. Then when you introduce them now to coding, in which in this age, you will introduce them to coding using Scratch. Because at that age, we are going to use block-based programming. We are not going to do line-based programming, yeah? We're not going to do line programming, we're going to do block-based. So that they are able to code in Scratch, and they are able to upload their codes here. Okay? Now, after the learners have been able to capture this correctly, and they are able to do it, they are ready to move to the next step, which is this. But then, in the advanced training that we will do for you, because I'm sure there are probably other age groups that the trainers will be expected to do, we will also be delving deep on this. Because for this one, there is the beginner, there is intermediate, and there is advanced. So in the advanced things, you may not be supporting now the 5 to 8 kids, but maybe you'll be supporting high school students or grade 8 students who are also having hackathons and various things that you'll be holding in the beautiful space that you have here. Mpaka hapo tuko sawa? So, very fast, Mr. Ebron started by saying that we were not expecting to find a very big number here. We were expecting Bwana Heri, my good friend here, and of course the others who are not in this room. So that is why the first thing that we had there was supposed to be telling you about who we are as tech kids, what's our vision, because whatever we will be doing with you is also aligned to our vision and mission. Okay? Then number 2, introduction to robotics. Of course, we'll have some lunch break so that people are able to have some energy. So roughly we had proposed from 10. The program is going up to 3. But you can see that in the afternoon, all of it's practical, it's activity. In the morning is us doing something with you. Then it's group work and again presentation. Seeing what you guys have been able to achieve in that particular day. Then in day 2, that's when we have now the microcontrollers. We will find a way of which one are we starting with. We have a number of kits for this. We have a number of kits for these ones as well. So we look at a number of them. And then, of course, we'll also do that. So Arduino. And then, of course, we'll have the group activities and presentations. Because we are saying that we want to see this training or facilitation, it's learner-centered. And in this case, you will be the learner, okay? We will be facilitating. So if we do facilitation the entire day, you will not have time to also put in practice whatever we have transferred to you. And as we have mentioned, we want to capture every feedback, and we want to see what you are also able to do. Now, day 3, we have AI, but then from whatever we picked, okay, we wanted to do an integration of AI with Scratch or with PictoBlocks. So we were not really doing it as a, whatever we have in a document, it's not AI as a standalone, but trying to integrate it with whatever we are doing. Because again, there's something that I have learned when it comes to the training of trainers training. If we have, in one training, if you want to train 10 things, you may not have 100% productivity. So that is why we decided to break it down, because like we discussed last time, we said that we will have these trainings in phases. We'll have the first training, like this one. Then now, remember during the baseline survey, we'll get the details of everyone, of course through the office of Mewa. Details, what are your names, what are your levels of study, professions, and all that. Because that one will also assist us in knowing even how we'll be balancing these groups, okay? Then number 2, after the training has been done, we will give every trainer a report. So if you will be training, you will be writing reports. You will not be sending to us, of course, you will be sending to Mewa, but we will be coming to look at those reports. Because when we train you and we are not sure whether you are also writing reports, we will not be able to follow up. So you will be writing reports, what you have done, how long it has taken, what are the activities, what are the materials, how did you prepare for your class, okay? Every day you are going to have a session with the learners, there will be reports, because that is the only way we can also be accountable. Are we together up to there? Yes. And then of course there will be some assessment at the end, so we will be supporting one another, getting feedback from the team, and of course knowing what is going on and seeing. So it means there will be some templates for reports that we will be sharing. And then the education committee, you will be able to know what's working, what's not working, and then we have a final template that they'll also be using. Yeah. So after that, I'm sure we are going to agree that maybe after 4 months, when is the implementation starting? So let's say if after the training, implementation will start after 1 month, then it means the reports will be happening until that batch of group is trained. And then when that is done, then we will go to the next phase of what is the next program that we want to train them. We had 20, you proposed 20 TOTs. Out of these 20, who are still in the program, how have they all performed? So that it can give us a way of going to the next thing. So when we will be training them on anything else, we'll be adding on top of what they now have. Okay? Are we together up to there?
I have a question.
Yes.
In the program, you don't see the AI integration in learning.
No, this has AI integration in PictoBlocks. Yes. But AI integration in learning, maybe we'll find a way of putting it. But the first thing that we need to do, you see, from the teaching practice, they are going to do teaching practice. Okay? From the teaching practice, we'll be able to, of course, we'll have some trainings just before that on how maybe they are supposed to present themselves and all that. Of course, even as some of us will be doing, we'll be doing the trainings, they are supposed to be capturing some things. So we will not do it as a standalone. We will also just integrate that within our training. That's why we have not slotted it as an item. Yes. Up to there, are we okay? So I have a question. Are there amongst us people who are teachers by profession? Oh no, Salim, I know you. I want those I don't know. Okay, thank you very much. So this is rough. I also know you, Bwanaeri. Yeah, so, but roughly this is how it's looking like. But just like I've said, this is not everything that we are going to do. This is where we are starting from. It's good for us to start somewhere. We measure, and that is why we have everything in the implementation. And this document we are going to share with you. We are going to send it probably in the email. in the thread where we have been having the different emails, so that now everyone is able to access it. Okay? So, and then it's going to be online, so in case maybe something changes, we'll be able to see it just there. So we are not going to download and send, we are going to send the link. Now, I was saying that we will start from something small, then we'll be able to measure as we continue. Okay? Now, maybe the last thing, so though this one was general,
you will also share with us the templates on how you put reports.
the templates for reports. Yes, sure. We will send that. I think we will send that alongside Hebron, alongside the link. Huh? Now, these are not all, but this was for the showcase. It may not be part of this directly. We are going to find whatever will be meaningful to whatever we are doing right now, okay? Because there's a time we were training teachers, and I gave them the links to the whatever we are training. Huh? So the entire time we have 60 teachers in the room. There is somebody who is training, but somebody is struggling to understand slide 61. Yes? And the facilitator is at slide 2. So I will not give you access to this, but I may share with the committee, okay? And I will ask them not to share with you until the point that I'm sure you guys have been able to grasp these other things, then we can give you access. I hope you will not see any. So we have stretch programming. Some people will call it different names, but just, so this one has a number of items. Now, when you are teaching, there are two things. When you are training, I normally tell teachers that you cannot transfer what you do not have. Yeah? So it means you need to know first. You need to know if this is a computer, tunaifungua haje. Yeah? So when you know, you are now able to go and do it. But again, secondly, we have people who know, but they do not know how to transfer that knowledge. Or we have people who know, but they do not have the resources to enable them transfer that knowledge. Okay? So in this link are some slides. E-link stretch programming, we have some slides. Huh? Almost, I don't know where there are 100 or how many. So just in case you are having learners and you are wondering, where do I start from? I want to introduce these learners. Nanzia wapi. Then those slides will be able to assist you. After they have understood whatever with the slides, then you should now assist them go out of their own way and now come up with something yenye sasa inatoka kwao. These are just supposed to help them to understand and know, okay? And it's the same way with desktop publishing. How many know desktop publishing? It is? What is it?
It's more or less like creating publications using tools like desktop publishing.
Yes.
Canva.
Yes. So desktop publishing and all that, hizo zote, sawa sawa. But for us, we don't teach desktop publishing, yeah? Because we believe it's out of date, okay? So, majorly, we have resources for training Canva, but it may not be relevant in the program that we are having right now. Then we have robotics, basic robotics, intermediate, which can also go to advanced. So we also have the links for that. It's an entire, these are an entire booklet. So this will be relevant to you. So it's an entire booklet, and you can almost 40 to 50 projects. So we believe that after we have done the training and we have given you the handbook, you are able to also try a number of projects on your own. And those projects will equip you, of course, with the other things that we learn from pedagogy, CRP, teaching practice, and all that. Because even during teaching practice, we are going to give you feedback. If you have done it correctly or not, we are going to correct you. And again, if you allow us. But if you allow us, we'll go ahead and correct you so that you go and do the right thing. Sawa sawa. So this handbook will be available for you. So those who will be able to, and interested to do further research it will really assist you. Ikona kama 100 pages. So it's an entire book. We have not just printed it. And it's done by us. Huh? Then we have digital skills employability program. May not be relevant to us directly, but there are things that we will do that is borrowed from that. Okay? Information technology around us may be relevant because some of the learners, I'm assuming that some of the learners that will be training, they have never used computers. Right? Because right now we do not know them. So I'm assuming that not all of them have interacted with computers before. So information technology around us, there are resources for that. Okay? If you have a class set up and you want to take them through, because all of us, we may know this is a machine. But when I tell you now, okay, now can you go and teach that learner everything in this machine? Huh? You'll be like, where do I start from? Because you know how to start it, you know how to, yeah? Because again, learning has, you're supposed to start from low level as you climb. Back up to Kosawa. So there are those resources here. And this will be relevant to you at some point. Now, we did not add it in the program because we understand that you all know it. But we will take you through ile tuone why is it relevant to you. You could tuna hizo vitu za mouse, right click, left click, and that is for a beginner, somebody who has never interacted with the machine. Then of course we have hizo zingine which are also not relevant right now, 3D design, app development, and full stack web development. So roughly that's how, so I will remove whatever is not relevant, leave what is relevant for us in the program, then we will share. But the link to the resources we will not share with our learners. We are only going to share with them the program so that you are also able to come with questions. You are able to prepare psychologically what are you expecting so that by the time all these are coming, learning can be fun. Sinamna hiyo? Any questions? Now, maybe before any questions, huh? We have this. We may not really put them together right now. We are not going to really, but we have these kits, okay? There are very many pieces. Nilisema, most parents, 5 to 8 kids are young kids, ndio? Most of our parents, hata sisi, mamako alikuwa anaenda sokoni anakubaia ile gari kora mguu 4, ndio? Ile yenye watu wa unique wanatumia kwa table hivi. Yeah? So mtoto ameshinda tu aki, ndio? So now for us we are saying that that is not what's supposed to be happening. Because we are locking the brains of that kid. And that is why, if a kid is curious, utapata ameshatoa mguu, utapata amefungua, amechukua mawe, amegonga juu, anajaribu kuangalia ndani kuna nini, si ndio? So most of us normally treat those acts as mtoto mwenye anaribu gari. Si ndio? Na anasema hii gari yenye nilikununulia usharibu. So most parents are normally wrong. Because huyo mtoto hajaribu gari. Huyo mtoto ako curious kujua ni nini iko kule ndani. So saizi nyinyi ni facilitators. We are supposed to ignite even more curiosity in these kids.
There's an issue here. Chairman anaenda na alikuwa anataka kusaini kitu. Sapoli apatikani kwa simu ya.
We can go ahead and no, Paul is handling something.
So sign it.
Yes. Hello? So while the other team is handling this, let's continue with this. Sindio? So now I was telling you that our watoto wetu wenye wao wanatoa mguu wao waribu gari. They are curious to know. Okay? And they can be creative. Because anywhere where curiosity exists, there is a chance of creativity. Okay? And that is what you are supposed to go and tap into and ignite. So it would be best if these kids, they are able to form. They can learn how those cars are assembled, but not buying to them a ready-made car. So hizi vitu zina solve to your solution in one way or the other. But again, secondly, kids wakiwa wachanga, they love to touch things. Okay? They love to play with things. Ndio maana mtoto utapata amecheza na mawe, amecheza na mchanga, amecheza na nini, yeah? Because they want to be hands-on. So you give them a chance to be hands-on. So msiweke watoto na kusoma vitabu, yeah? You are supposed to compress, you understand, as a facilitator. Understand everything in the notes, then find a way of turning all that into activity. Because they learn best with activity, especially that age that Mewa is targeting. Tunaelewana? And that is why there is this. Now, kuna zile, you can see the mascars and all that. All that's were in pieces like this. So there's a step-by-step procedure. Those are the robo kits. So they have curriculums ready for us. So you're not going to struggle making your own curriculum. So wewe utakuwa unaangalia hii step ni gani, hii ni gani, hii ni gani. But before you get to class, you have to work it out. Mwalimu wa maths, before kuja kukufunza maths, hesabu ilikuwa imemsumbua staff room from asubuhi, si ndio? Si namna hiyo. They were not solving the maths in the class. Otherwise, they would have given you that as an assignment. See, these things are true. So we are going to use those things, the same thing that we have learned. Tusipe watoto shida kama assignment. So we need to interact. Anything that you will be training with, as a facilitator, you interact with them maximally. You understand everything. Uone shida zenye zinatokea. So that hiyo shida ikitokea ukiwa na mwanafunzi, usimwambie ati hiyo sasa ni assignment yake. Now, some of these kids are smarter than us. That is one thing that you guys are supposed to know. Some of these kids, you're going to teach them AI day one. When they go home, they'll spend the whole night researching about AI. So the following day, when you show up in class and you still don't know the solution to the problem, they'll say that the teacher do not know what they're teaching us. Sijika tunaelewana. Remember, I'm talking as you as facilitators. Sindio? And that is why I said everything that we are going to do is not just teaching you, go and move this, put it here. No. We are going to prepare you also psychologically as a teacher that these are things you are going to find. So before we get to class, you are supposed to understand everything that you are going to make, so that when you get to class, unaelewa shida zote zenye zinazotokea. Back to Mr. Chairman. I was just winding up and I'm done. I'll just pass this. They'll see as you continue. Asante.
Now we have a small occasion here of signing the MOU with Tech Kids Africa. It will be signed by our chairman and Mr. Hebron on behalf of Tech Kids. very much.
Each other.
And now what is remaining is just to start the training. We are going to have further communication before we set a date for the training therefore, we are very grateful for your participation.
I think we are very lucky, and alhamdulillah we are very grateful. Today we mark an incredible and a remarkable journey ambayo actually expresses our shared commitment of nurturing innovation, of nurturing creativity. I think this does the same thing. This is the same thing. And also, apart from just nurturing creativity and innovation, it also now we are trying to empower our generation, this generation, and the coming generation, of course. And so, as we gather here today, this is not just it was not just a moment ya kusign hizi MOUs, but it's also it shows our commitment as both Mewa and Tech Kids in empowering our children to even dream bigger, code smarter, and also lead the future of technology right from here in our communities. Kama unavyoona hawa, these are all members ambao wanatokea from our communities. And this is actually an amazing part of Mewa, whereby the community actually benefits directly now from the institution. And this is actually a big step for us as we try and lead, being amongst the people that actually lead in matters concerning robotics, coding, and AI, of course. And I think that is also part of whatever I'll be discussing. So I want to express my gratitude, of course. I'll also leave it to the chair, of course, to express his gratitude, not only just as the committee who has been working tirelessly, but also now to the Tech Kids who have been willingly accepting us from time to time to meet up and pale discussing about this. This has been a long time coming, a kind of partnership where tumeanza kuanzia June, I think, yeah? Is it June or July? June or July. So this has been something about tumengojea for quite some time. And alhamdulillah, today we are here. We have witnessed something that is great, and we are hopeful of the future. Now, I think this is the start of a greater part of the collaboration. I think this is the first. We do it right. We do it right to create the impact in our community, kama vile Chair alivyosema, and we are hopeful for whatever is to come is even brighter than this. I want to thank you, and I think Chair maybe at declare closed, and then maybe we can go to other agendas. You're done. Oh, okay. But I think we can release the chair. We can let Tech Kids pia watuendeleze. Kidogo alikuwa nifikiria kuna session ishaanza yani. Jamaa alikuwa amejipanga, session ilikuwa ishaanza, si ndio? So bwana chair, thank you for being with us here. Na
It's because the chairman wanted to leave.
Oh, I think that is nice. Thank you very much. Stamp. 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 So I think we can all agree tumeweza excuse our chairman, si ndio? He can leave at his own accord.
Chairman, thank you very much. It's a very short notice again, but
a very noble thing.
Naona nimerudishiwa microphone. So I will finish. So maybe before I finish, I believe kila mtu interact na hizi vitu zote. So this is not everything. In ile tu ya kuonyesha, these are some of the things that you are supposed to expect, but there is a lot. But they are very easy. Sinaona kama ndugu yangu hapa ashaanza. Si ndio? Si mnaona? Yeah, it's very easy, and I know it's going to be interesting. So now, maybe before I sit down, nani ako na swali? Kama kuna swali, this is your time. For the children. So, no, for the children, for TOT, we are training them for 3 days. It's a robust boot camp. Yeah, all day. Yes. So they need to be ready and they need to eat well. Then for the children first, what you could give me is what period do you want to train the children? How long are they available, so that we are able to work out the days? Because the at minimum, it's supposed to be at least 50 contact hours with the children for this alone. And you see that is the basic. So after that, you measure what are they be able to do. Because again, if you have 20 children, all of them do not have the same capacity. There are those who will be, the terms keep on changing every day, but those who are time takers, and there are those who are able to learn very fast. Yes? Ours or yours? That depends. But see, if we have trained your facilitators, that the people are supposed to train your train. So for us, we may just be coming once in a while for lesson observation, knowing how things. Yeah, for that we'll be coming. We'll be coming to do lesson observation at some point, just to see how things are going on. Probably M&D as you have mentioned. But then for the contact hours, it's not 40 to 50 contact hours for the children. So that means if you are to do maybe 2 hours every day, then you look at that. But again, if you are able to say how long your learners are available, let's say for a month, they are available for 3 weeks, then we are also able to advise on that. The good thing is that we are a call away. If you call us, you don't find us, we're going to get the missed call and then we call you back. Yes. Tungekuwa tuko Nairobi, ingekuwa ni balaa kidogo. For the cohorts. Well, the document had 50. 50 is not a bad number, but again, how will you distribute? If you have 20 TOTs, how you distribute them? Maybe for that we can just advise. Because you see, for us, if we are able to train the TOT, they should be ready to go and execute. The only thing that you cannot do, you cannot have 20 facilitators in one room of 50 children. Wengine huwa wanaogopa watu. So when they see very many people walking around, they're like, what is happening here? It now gets away, it's not a class anymore. Because I've seen, there are times we go to do lesson observation in a school, and then maybe we train 5 teachers. So that day, all those teachers are working in the classroom. So if you are with us now, the learners are like, today what is happening here? So as a learning, since we have learned from that, we may not want to, though it may not be the same program, but we just advise. Yes, sure. Any question from my future learners? Pardon? For the learners, we are not doing line coding. For the 5 to 8, we are not doing line coding yet. Line coding is for people like you. If you are going to train people like you, you are doing line coding. Line coding is where now we, you know, like the language you are talking about, if it's C, C++, you have to include nini hizo. Sini line sasa. Line 1 to probably 1,000 or penye itafika. That's why we call it line coding. So that one is proper when you train it to someone like you. But for a learner, they're also able to get there, but after we create foundation. Ni kama wewe, a kid might be very smart, but you cannot move them from grade 1 to grade 8. Just because they are very smart, anakuwa number 1, class 1. Sindio? So you take them class 1, class 2, class 3 hivyo. So hata huyu learner, hata huyu mdogo. Because, by the way, we have kids at our hub, mtoto ako 8 years or 9 years, but they have started that. But you see, they did not start there. They started from where we are starting right now. Then after umeona huyu mtoto easy ashashika zote, then sasa unaanza kumintroduce. Before mtoto akuwe 13 years, they are already making websites, they are doing wonderful things. Yes, we have had them. But we don't normally want to tell you we are going to make your learner do that, because we may not know how strong your learner is. So that's why we have to take them through a process. And you find that we tell even the parents, we tell them, at the end of the session, we are supposed to meet and talk, see what we have done, and get a report. Because for some learners, it may take 2 years. For some learners, it may take 1 year. Yes.
For me, I think concerning about the curriculums, and for those who have kids working there, especially when these kids are so interactive into this technology, they are very, English, hawatuli. So
yes.
For me, I think at least for those who don't have kids and they don't have any idea about psychology of kids, especially these gifted kids, I will say and believe another. So for me, at least for the basics and probably what we have experienced. For example, we have this group here. For me, Niambia, I expect this group, there are 2 types of people. Actually 3. They are listeners, they are alpha and betas. Alphas, ni yule ambaye most of the time mbele. Beta, kama kuna watu wawili wanamfuata yule alpha. Na kuna wale who have interest. So alpha, most of the time, anakuwa, we call it a black hat. And in someone here always criticize, always divert. So for me, what I'll do, siye namwona anasumbua, nitampatia task. Wewe uko kwenye class, kindly angalau ambao wanapiga. So once that alpha ni king, they used
yes.
all the betas. That's how
yes.
they okay for that year.
Yes.
So for him, we learn, but at the same time, so whatever they're going for. But watoto miaka 5, 8, utaimba wewe, utaimba. Because for me, through experience, kingia nyumbani, you have that kind of kid. Because unamwambia afanye hivi, ana switch. Anafanya within 1 minute.
Ashamaliza. Ameenda ingine.
So remember hapa tumesema as you experience.
Yes.
Anasoma for at least half to 1 hour. So imagine una kama wale 5. Out of 20 una 5.
And then maybe you have mentioned something that has made me remind, it has reminded me of something that we need to add here, Mr. Hebron, child protection. So, you guys have, nimesikia kenye umesema sana. So, mimi as I listen, I normally nini very fast. So, you guys will have to do child protection. So, I will recommend a site. I'll check if it's still nini. Then you go and do it. So some of us tukipewa easy online sites, what tunaenda to continue, done, submit. You have completed. Please download your certificate. Tafadhali. Nikiwapia hiyo site, msifinyi hivyo next, okay? Because in the details that you unafinya next, most Kenyans do not read terms and conditions. anafanyanga hivi agree, si ndio? Alafu siku unaanza kupata vitu fani kwa Facebook yako, unasema Facebook yako imekuwa hacked, right? So we are going to also do child protection, and in child protection some of the things that we also need to learn. Venye amesema, wewe ni mwalimu kwa class, kuna mtoto ako curious, anaguza hii, unaguza hii, haufai kumshut down. If you shut down, you are also shutting down their curiosity. And that is why sometimes unaonanga wale watu wenye they are old, maybe they are at your age, but they are not able to express themselves. It's because when they were growing up, kuna mtu aliwa shut down. Si ndio? So ukishut down mtoto, kuna future yake yenye umeinterfere nayo. Na unapata huyo mtu pengine yeye anataka kae peke yake. Akikaa na watu, they are not talking, their social engineering is not poor. I mean, it's very poor. So whatever you guys will be doing is affecting the community by a very big percentage. Sawa. So you'll be given, if you will be given learners, there are so many things that you are supposed to know. That is beyond robotics. Sawa. And then we are also supposed to be very emotionally aware. Ukiona huyu mtoto, before you act, unafaa ujue huyu mtoto, how best can I deal with them? Again, not all of us have that gift. That is why we need to have teamwork. So that if I know, my good friend here, kuna kitu anaweza fanya vizuri kunishinda, let me work with them. If there is a situation yenye pia imekushinda, you can talk to walimu in the house, kama Mr. Salim pale, si ndio? Ama our chairman here, kama atakuwa, najua is a very busy man. Si ndio? Yes? Because again, it's good to also consult. Usiende ukafanya vitu zako, alafu baadaye unasema mimi nilikuwa nadhani hiyo ilikuwa sawa. Si ndio? Mpaka hapo tuko sawa? So child protection muhimu for all of us. Any other question? Unajua ni kama tumefanya session 1, Mr. Ebron.
Maybe to add on that. Ukiangalia in human form, kuanzia mtoto up to 35, the number of no's, hapana, haiwezi, huwa inafika almost 145,000. And up to now, most of us they know shambio. So concerning about now reprogramming, because now our new this the mpaka say wamekisha probably 10 to 20 to 30 notes. So as we prepare for foundation, so we need to set an environment that they are going to receive new things. Whatever is in a brain, kama ulisema washanunua gari, toys, whatever, robot, already transformed, ishatengenezwa. Now we are reprogramming.
Yes.
So if we are reprogramming, so we have to be very, very, very careful. We are reprogramming. So no one is down there. There's no stupid question. So people, they may be curious, but the question may not be in that situation, but in other situation. So how do you make the situation without ule mtoto kuvunja morali? That's why most of us, we have new resolution. Mwaka mpya ukiingia, lazima nende gym within 1 week, kwa sababu that no imekana sisi for all that years. Kufanya hivi ina time automatic, kwa mwenye unajiambia no, pia ile environment setting for watoto is good.
Yes. And maybe something else, and I'm sure even our kubwa here may attest to that. You see, right now, one of the things we do is online safety and cybersecurity, and it's very close to child protection. That is why I've said that you guys will have to do child protection. And I'm not sure, this I want to say, but maybe those who will not comply should not go ahead to the classroom, so that we ensure safety of learners. But child protection, most of us tulikuwa tunapewa simu, si ndio? Ama kuna wale watoto wenye wanapewa simu. Again, kids who are being born right now, they are born with technology. Si ndio? Wanazaliwa kama technology iko. So mtoto anakuja na kuambia nipe simu yako, nataka kuingia TikTok. Wewe umemwambia no. Si ndio? So the moment umeambia mtoto no, it is not a no in his system. In fact, is now, why is it no? Nini iko hapa, ndio maana huyu jamaa ananiambia ni no? Ni no, si ndio? So anytime, of course your phone, hata nyinyi najua. Your phones, you are not with them 24 hours. 24 times 365 or 366 days. You are not with your phones. Kuna ile time umeiacha chini, si ndio? So your time, that is when the kid is also coming to find out. I was told no, but why is it that I'm told no? Then they find something, and then they now start doing it. So anytime your phone is around, you know, ulishasema no, mtoto wako ana. So if we are also teachers, it means we are going to also be handling other people's kids, indio? How we say, in child protection, we did a course by Communication Authority of Kenya, and we were being told that the reasons why even we are having more childs coming is because our African parents have programmed us, wewe kuja hapa kichwa mbaya kiboko. But we are not told, if you do this, this is what will happen. Sindio? Now the same way we are doing ICT. We are having wires. Unaambia mtoto usishike hiyo waya. Au mwambie kishika hiyo waya kuna kitu itafanyika. Alafu mtoto wenyewe ameenda akashika waya, amepigwa shock. Mewa imekuwa sued. Unaenda wapi? Unaenda bara? Yes? So guys, these things that I'm saying, I'm sure, I know they look very funny, but these are things that ndio zenye zinafanyika. Sawa sawa. Especially with tech, we need to know. Even when we are giving learners assignment to go at home, we need to know our wordings, how we are sending them. It's also very, very key. When you're doing your presentations in the screen, when you will be doing your presentation in the screen, everything that should be in your machine. Ujue tukiweka machine pale, maybe WhatsApp inazoonekana, si ndio? So inamaanisha, in as much as we need tech kids to train us this, to train us CRP, as with Hebron, to train us those very many things, but it also comes with child protection and most importantly, emotional awareness. Sawa sawa mpaka hapo? Is there any other last question? Yes? Stamp. Yeah. Letter. Yes?
On child safety, we should be very careful. On child safety, there are several laws which are covering the child, wherever he or she is. Therefore, when handling these children during any session, you should ensure that the place you are doing that is safe, as he said, on the side of electricity, on the side of the items you are using, the child should be protected in any manner. I'm telling you this because when I was working in the county government of Mombasa, I was heading a unit on child safety. And we came up with a law of the county assembly which protects that child. Therefore, a child has been protected in so many laws, the national government laws, the county government laws, and whatever. Therefore, when we come to this training, and when we are through with the training and we go to teach these young children, we should be very sensitive. And we should be able to protect the children as much as possible so that the child secures that education in a safe manner. Thank you very much. Child safety.
Thank you. So I think that gives me day 4. Day 4 of the training. It will be child protection and professional ethics. Yes, you can ask a question.
So I think doing other curriculum the way it is, for me, some of the things, the special kids can find this. through circuit boards. So probably, I don't know, maybe a unit something about being innovative. So whatever akiona pale probably atakuta mahali. So anang'oa, anajua probably where. Ajua, because akimaliza hapa ashajua. Na kule mbele what happened. Na wajua most of resources space tunaisha CBC, mwalimu atafanya hiyo outside. So someone need to practice. And some of the things nimeziangalia. Unapata circuit board. Si tunaenda mahali kwa mtu scrap. Ila anaokota naye anauza. Zile zipenda kuchoma, they have the component of golds. Watu wanakusanya then unapata gold, slab ya gold unauza. So probably katika curriculum, it's more being innovative. Tuwafundisha hapa, but there are some things we kama mtoto kwa kile tunakota kuunganisha, but through supervision can make sense. So that's another suggestion.
Your suggestion is taken. I'm digesting it. I will give you a feedback. Any other question before I sit down?
I know that you are not professional teachers. With professional teachers have been taught on how to handle children. But though you are not professional teachers, and now you will be put in a situation whereby sometimes you train the young kids, you have to be very sensitive, and you should know what the child is not always listening, the child is not always attentive, the child is not always obeying. That child can do anything, anytime during your process of teaching. You should adopt the qualities of a teacher. A teacher should be trustworthy. A teacher should be educated. A teacher should be curious, active. A teacher should be curious. A teacher should be honest. A teacher should be enthusiastic, and a teacher should be responsible. That is what is from the word teacher. T-E-A-C-H-E-R. Form those qualities. And all those qualities should be implemented by a teacher to be seen that he is a real teacher.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies, nyie hamna swali? Najua kuna two-third gender rule kila pali Kenya sahi. Hadi wanaume, we need to stand up for our fellow men. Your gender role is not favoring us. So ladies, do you have any question for me? Well, looks like hakuna maswali, si ndio? So, thank you very much. We were supposed to be joined by our director, but he's handling something. Kuna kitu imeharibika pahali, so he's handling that. So maybe next time when we'll be coming for the training, I'm sure he will join us. You'll be able to see him. And then I think I can have my kids back. Thank you very much for listening, for asking questions. We look forward to meet again. You are very good students, and you are going to be good facilitators. Thank you.
Excuse me, our visitors. We shall have a small ceremony whereby we are going to award our tutors of the just ended virtual learning or virtual tuition and remedial classes for Form 4s. They are just outside here. We want to award them these certificates, and we beg you to witness this small ceremony. Thank you. Supposed to we have our heroes. Si juzi ilikuwa ni Heroes Day. We all, Mashujaa Day, sio? Hata sisi tuna heroes wetu, tuna mashujaa wetu. Tuna mashujaa 8 ambao walijitolea kufundisha wanafunzi ile virtual learning, virtual tuition, na tukaifunga last week, na hao wameendelea na hiyo tuition, na wengine walikuwa hapa tangu mwaka jana wakifanya hiyo kazi, na hivi leo tunataka kuwapa certificate za kuonyesha kwamba wamefanya kazi nzuri. Bwana coordinator, tafadhali watambulishe watu wako.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kama nilivyotanguliwa na chairman wetu wa Mewa Education Board Committee, ni furaha kuungana na baadhi ya tutors wetu ambao tulijumuika nao, and we cooperated with them along a period of 3 months which the program was running. Na siku zote watu na msemo nasema mfanya vema hutuzwa. Achane na ile ya zamani, ile mcheza kwao hutuzwa. Una ule mfanya mwalimu ashasema. Siku zote unapofanya jambo zuri, unapofanya jambo la kujitolea, unapofanya jambo kwa ajili ya watu wengine, malipo yake hapa duniani ni wale wanadamu ku acknowledge na ku appreciate. Wakaona thamani ya kile ulichokifanya, na ndio maana unatuzwa, wanakupatia ile thamani yako. Wanaona kuwa una thamani wewe katika jamii. Na ni vizuri watu kama hawa wakakuwa motivated. Wakaoneshwa kuwa we appreciate your contribution and your selfless commitment towards empowering your community. Na leo tunafikia the closure by awarding them the certificates of appreciation. Tunawaambia thank you very much. We appreciate. Umeinua hii jamii. You may not see the impact right now, but I'm telling you, the people out there, the parents, the students themselves, and the community at large, they are behind you. Wanaombea dua na baraka na nafaka na mafanikio. So when you see good things coming your way, ujue pengine, perhaps, sababu ya wewe uona unafungukiwa katika maisha ni kwa sababu ya wewe kile unachokifanya na nia yako ulolifanyia. Leo ama kesho ama siku za usoni unaona mambo yanafunguka, unatafuta sababu. Unasema kwa nini mimi napata hizi baraka? Why am I getting these blessings? Where are they coming from? It is because of your selfless kujitolea kwa watu wengine na kuwasaidia watu wengine. So we are humbly and we are happily and extremely happy to tell you this and to award you these certificates of appreciation and tell you again, thank you very much, and we value your efforts.
Bwana Hebron, can you join me in celebrating these young men?
The first tutor to be awarded is Abdul Qadir Sharif. Abdul Qadir Sharif. Abdul Qadir Sharif was handling chemistry subject. He was handling chemistry. Our next tutor is called Madam Mulhat Farid Abdullah. Madam Mulhat was handling Arabic subject. For those who are doing Arabic subject. The next tutor is Madam Sumeya Salim. Alaikum salam. Madam Sumeya was handling Kiswahili subject. Kwa hivyo katika hii lineup unayoona tuna walimu wawili wa Kiswahili. I think wengine they'll be coming, we'll be handing them over.
Thank you very much.
We have other tutors who are not present with us, but we are going to hand them over their certificates. The next one is Rishad Saburi, Mr. Rishad Saburi. Mr. Rishad Saburi is a teacher in Khamis. He's also the discipline master in Khamis High School, and he was handling Islamic religious education subject. Next is Mr. Abel Nyakora. Mr. Abel Nyakora was handling part of the humanity subjects, which is English. And Mr. Abel Nyakora is also an examiner, and is currently teaching in Makande Girls High School. The next one is Mr. Habib Salman Yusuf. Mr. Salman has been handling mathematics subject. He is also a teacher in Safina High School. The next one is Mr. One more information about Mr. Habib Salman. He is also part of the Mewa committee member fraternity. He is also a board member in Mewa committee, education committee. The next teacher is Mr. Qasim Hamad. Mr. Qasim Hamad is also our tutor who we were collaborating with, and he was one of our associates here. He was handling physics subject. And he is also a teacher by profession. He is currently teaching in Marimani Junior Secondary School. The next one is Madam Mariam Sharif Alwi. Madam Mariam Sharif Alwi is a teacher currently teaching in Bahari Girls in Mavueni, Kilifi County, and she was handling biology subject. So Mr. Hebron, if you want, you can liaise with her and see how you can collaborate in the biology subject.
We shall invite Hebron also to join us in our next remedial classes. Thank you. Watoto wangu, we have now come to this program. I am really grateful, and I really appreciate your presence here. You have been listening throughout, and you have been very, 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 very disciplined. You have been taught by your fellow Gen Zs, and they are the one who are going to teach you as you go on. With me, I am an analog, and I think I can learn from there. I can get a bit knowledge on that part. You're always welcome to Mewa. Mewa is there to make you grow, and you will always grow through Mewa. Sasa hapo ndio inayokuja ile methali aliyosema mwanzo kwamba kikuu hukuwa kwao pembe humea kichwani. Now Mewa is yours. You are all from Mombasa. You are all from Coast Province. You are all from Kenya. And Mewa is a national organization. Kwa hivyo, let us work together. Let us work together to develop our county, to develop our region, to develop our country. Together we can do it. together we can do it. Thank you very much, and may God bless you all. Tunataka